Hi, so it's Real Talk Wednesday again, and this week we are talking about university because a lot of people are thinking of going at this point, they're preparing, or I know it's too late for applications.
Sorry.
But maybe we can just talk about tips for moving to university. We've both been.
I didn't finish.
I did finish, just about.
Yep.
But this is why it's good, because we've got two views here. What was the university experience like for you?
It was, mine was like the typical uni experience that you think is going to happen, that we were literally getting drunk
Like
every
you were
day.
basically in Hollyoaks.
Yes, I was in Hollyoaks. And the student union was amazing. First year anyway was crazy, and because it actually wasn't that hard, like I did primary teaching, and the first year literally was, you were like at primary
Colouring.
school. Yes, we did.
I remember her texting me or like sending me photos on Facebook of just a drawing she'd done, and I was like,
And we'd like
this is your uni work.
playing with plasticine and like abacuses and things like that.
That day I would have been like calculating the nodes and antinodes in a studio, and I'd be like, what?
So yeah, we could get away with, weirdly, because teaching you'd think you'd have to work hard, but we didn't really work that hard. So we just got drunk all the time. But it did get harder, and second year when I moved out of halls, and it wasn't going out as much because, I don't know, you're not like living.
Yeah, you have to do some work as well.
Yeah, and then it got harder, and
because you have to do some work.
And because I'm lazy, that wasn't.
I think like my guide to university would be first year, do whatever you want as long as you get a 40 on everything, because then you're through to the next year. It doesn't matter what grade you get because it doesn't count towards the end of your degree. So first year, just like if you want to have a bit of a party, do, but just make sure you pass everything. And then second year, see, I wasn't your typical student when I went. By the time I went, I'm saying it like it was really late. I was 19, so old. But I wasn't interested in going out or like drinking or anything. So for the first 8 months I lived in halls, and my other 3 flatmates were all like massive party animals, and they were all sleeping together with each other.
Nice.
And I would just like, I would spend most of my time at friends and just come back every few days to change. Like, I just wasn't interested in that lifestyle at all. And I think, like, that's the difference. You can either go to uni in the mind of, like, a party time, which is fair enough if that's what you want to do, or you can go to get your grade. I don't think...
but definitely, if you're going to party, just do it in first year and then just
and then
get
chill
on
out.
with it. Because otherwise, you're paying all that money, like, I've got loans now, paying all that money and it's just not worth it. And like now, I really regret dropping out and I wish I could go back, but I can't because you literally only get one chance unless you're rich.
Yeah, like I looked into doing a second degree, but because I've got the first one, I'd have to pay all myself. And I was like, that's not happening.
I did got funded for 2.5 years, so if I went back, I would have to pay for one of the years, which isn't as bad, but it's still, I can't afford that. I can't afford like $9 grand.
Oh yeah, because it's gone up now as well.
Yeah.
I think like second year, less partying, more work, and if you're doing like your course, you had placements set up anyway, but my course wasn't like that. I did sound engineering, and I think like if I had gone back and done it again, I would have made sure in second year that I did lots of placements and got work experience in whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
we
idea.
Had placements anyway, which then you really had to
actually
do things.
So that would be my advice for second year, and then third year is all about your dissertation, and you're not going to have a life, or you do. Well, I'm a last minute person.
I am. Like, I would just do it the night before and spend like 6 hours writing an assignment, and then that would be that.
Like, your dissertation is set at the beginning of the year.
But I didn't get that far.
I wrote mine.
I literally
in the
dropped
last
out
week.
just before they were talking about it because I was like, no.
I didn't know what one was.
No.
I was just like, what's the dissertation? It's basically just a really long essay. But no one had ever told me that.
Really long.
And because mine was a science degree, it had to be in the form of like an experiment.
That's weird because like it's about music.
Well, yeah,
and
because
stuff.
my degree was like a crossover one. It was
Yeah.
like arts and science.
Strong.
Yeah, so, but I left that until the week before. Like, you're meant to spend, if you're the perfect student.
Like a year. Meant to like start it the year before.
Yeah, if you're the perfect student, you spend the summer between your second year and your third year doing your reading and research.
Reading.
We
had to like, you know, when you have to like read stuff, and I would never read it. You just literally pretend and just put the book name in.
Oh, what's it called? Harvard referencing.
Oh, yeah.
Harvard
like,
referencing. I would recommend you learn what that is as soon as you can, because you're going to have to do it on everything ever. For the
every
next 3
time
years.
I would still Google Harvard referencing so I could
And copy and paste.
There's a good like website you can put like the book name and author and stuff, and it does it for you.
Well, if you spend a lot of time with Word, I think Word does it for you. But no. But anyway, so I left my dissertation, and I think I started the research a month before it was due in, and
Not bad.
I wrote it the week before it was due in, and I handed it in on the deadline.
Yeah.
Because you have to get it binded as well, and you have to pay for that. Like, you've not already paid like several grand.
I know.
And then I didn't hit the word count. So I was like, oh, I failed.
You get marks knocked off, don't you?
No, I did not. That's what I was about to say. Well, obviously it might vary from uni to uni, but I think the word count for my dissertation was meant to be 12,000? 10,000 or 12,000
Yeah.
was like the recommended, and I did 8.
Oh my god, because you're meant to get 10% either way, aren't you?
Yeah. I did like 8,000 and I handed it in, and I was like, I can't write any more on this, because it gets to a point where you're just putting extra and
yeah,
in, or
you're
like,
just like
you're just putting really
random things.
very. And that's because my background research was so because I didn't read it until the month before. But I got a first for it anyway.
Oh, that was good.
So what I was going to say is don't fret so much about the word count and everything. Just make sure you've
Quality, not quantity.
exactly. Make sure you understand what you're writing, and that you've written enough and got your point across.
Yeah.
And it shows that you understand what you're saying.
Not
Because
just
also,
loads of dribbles. Just
after you've done your dissertation, you have to do the Viva presentation, where they ask you questions, and if you don't understand what you've written, then
it's going to show, and it's
you
going to be
look
awkward.
really stupid.
I just hate, like, at school as well, or always hated coursework, but I liked exams. And yeah, because with coursework, you have to spend time, your own time, doing it. But with exams, you can literally just turn up and get it over and done with.
My degree had no exams.
Oh, that's good.
Mine was all essay and
I hate it.
studio based.
But I saw in secondary schools and stuff, they're actually getting rid of coursework and just doing exams.
So many people, like, the thing is...
How lucky is that? I wish I was at school now.
No, the thing is, people are stronger in different areas, and I
Yeah.
think to get rid of one entirely is really
Yeah,
unfair.
exactly, because although that would be good for me, like, some people
Like,
aren't
because
good at exams, but they are
good at coursework.
Yeah, because they can, like,
Some
build it
people
up
get
over
really
time.
nervous around exams. I don't know anymore, because I can't. My last exam would have been my GCSEs,
Oh, yeah.
because I didn't do A levels either. I did a rock school diploma. School, which again was coursework. I think, but at my GCSEs I wasn't very nervous.
No.
We barely.
We turned up
Bothered.
drunk a lot. But,
Well, no, maybe for RE.
yeah. I didn't even do my RE GCSE.
I wrote my name and then a sentence that said Christians believe this because they're wrong. And I
just
got
did
an
turn up.
F.
It was too early in the morning for me to bother.
But we are not recommending this behaviour at all. I think, like, we were lucky because even though we made no effort, we got away with quite good grades.
Yeah, like, I've always been quite lucky in that I can just kind of wing it.
And I think, like, I took that for advantage. Took that for advantage? Granted. I took that for granted until the past few years, really. because I've always just been able to
Yeah,
get by.
then actually it gets hard, and you actually have to like revise and
Uni's pretty
research
serious.
and stuff. You're like, oh no.
Like with college again, I managed to sort of wing by and I got a distinction.
Yeah.
But uni, I got
It's hard.
I got a 2-1, which is okay, but I think
I don't even know what that means.
that's like a B.
Ah, cool.
I think if I'd tried and hadn't been so winging it, I would have been able to get a first and A.
Yeah. So you've got to, if you're going to go to uni, don't waste it.
do
You've
it
got to
properly.
work hard. I mean, my course was 4 years and I quit after, I was in my 3rd year,
So pretty close.
but I was just...
But the 4th year would have been super hard.
Yeah, but and I now think if I'd just like stuck with it just for another year, even if I didn't use that, now I would have a degree. But
But
if
then,
you're not enjoying it though, you can't really.
but then also a degree doesn't always equal the best option.
No.
Like there's some people I know that didn't go to college, didn't get a degree, and are in a better position than I am right now.
Yeah, that is true. Because a lot of degrees nowadays, they don't really count for anything. Like mine would have, obviously, because
You chose like
it does lead to a profession. Because
yeah.
you're guaranteed, if you get a teaching degree, you're guaranteed a year actually teaching.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mine is not guaranteed, and I think especially in creative industries, there's like the debate of whether it's worth doing a degree.
Mhm.
And I'd say in like sound engineering especially, there's not like, it doesn't really count for anything, my degree.
No.
Like if I went to studios or whatever now and said I've got a sound engineering degree, they'd just be like, what experience have you got in studios?
Yeah, it's more experience.
I think like but I knew that going into it. Like
Yeah.
I just wanted a degree.
Mhm.
Because
Just doing uni.
free, innit?
Doing uni.
Not quite free. It will be free because I'll never pay it back.
I know, because you have to because it used to be 20 grand, but now it's 25 grand. If you're not earning over that, you don't have to pay it back.
Mine's 15 grand. If I
Oh.
start earning 15 grand,
No,
then I have to pay.
but it's still not even much.
No, it'll be like £10 a month.
But yeah, so I don't think there's nothing wrong with not going to uni. But if you do
No.
go to uni, especially now it is even more expensive, you've got to be sure about it and like make it worth it, because it's only 3 years. And most of the time, you're not even at uni anyway.
No, they're called full-time courses, but
Even
you're
on-
normally only there for 3 days.
Even on a teaching course, which you'd think you'd need to be proper full time, it was only ever like 3 days a week and for a couple of hours a day.
That's because they assume you do lots of work yourself
yeah, but you know.
in the extra 2 days. But I think like the other way to look at uni is, even if you're not that bothered about getting a degree, like another thing it was for me was a way to move out
Yeah.
and like get a bit of independence and just see what the world is like. Although saying that, a lot of students are supported heavily by their parents.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people, when I went to uni, a lot of people like lived around there. And I always thought that was weird because I chose a uni really far away so I could
Purposely, so
be
you can
far
move out.
away. Yeah.
Well, there wasn't any that had my course that were near.
Uh-huh.
I was going to go to Plymouth, and then at the last minute I changed to Manchester,
Mm.
which is kind of handy because it was only 2-3 hours
Yeah,
away
it's
rather
not
than
that
6.
far.
But I think it was nice, definitely for me. Like I'd always planned to move out as soon as I could.
Yeah.
It was nice to be able to like just live, even though you're like house sharing or whatever, like live on your own terms. I think that's an important part of university.
Because you need some independence
And like if you can, just turn down any money from your parents, because you get the real
otherwise you get
experience then.
reliant on it and it's not the same. I think everyone needs the experience of being really, really poor and like living on, I lived on custard creams, but
I 1 week I only had like £1 left and I lived on bourbons.
see, similar.
This is how it happened.
But it is good because even though it's rubbish at the time, now I'm actually really, like, I'm skinned at the moment because we've just moved house and I've bought everything and had bills and that. But now, like, I'm really good with my money because
I was always good with money, but it sort of sends it into overdrive because that really is
Yeah.
all the money you've got.
Exactly.
Especially if you're living off of just your student loan, which is what I did,
Yeah.
and didn't have a job, I think, and didn't have money from your parents,
No,
you have to ration it because they pay it all like in 3 payments
I
throughout
know
the year.
it's not like monthly or
No.
anything.
So I think it's good in that respect.
Yeah, the first year I only had jobs for like Christmas, so it was really hard. But then after that, I did get a job, so it was easier.
I just decided that I didn't want to work
No,
as well as
so
do
you
my
could work harder.
so I
at
could do my
uni.
studies.
Yeah.
What you have to understand about my working process is that it will take, like, say 6 hours. It will take 6 hours,
Yeah.
but 5 hours of that will be procrastination.
Yeah.
But that 5 hours of procrastination
it.
are necessary to
You
get
need
to the
it.
6 hours.
Exactly.
That's how I work.
It is.
So obviously I didn't have time to have a job.
No.
Otherwise, where would I procrastinate?
Exactly. You can't procrastinate at work because you've got to actually do things.
No, I know. And bosses are really, like, up on that.
I procrastinate a lot of work, to be honest.
I did
but
have
my
what-
job's good.
I did have a job in the call centre for a month, and they were like, "Oh, in like the off time, you can do some work." But my work was sound engineering, so not really.
No.
Plus, there was never any downtime. You got like 5 calls per 2 minutes.
I'd hate it.
It was horrible. Yeah. So basically, uni can be good and it can be bad.
But it is hard.
It is hard if you want to do it properly.
Yes.
You
You should do it properly because otherwise
because
there's
you've
no
spent
point.
the money on it.
Yeah.
And it
Don't
can
make the same mistake as me.
it can get you places, or it cannot. Depending what like your area of study is, do research into the possible careers and whether it really matters whether you've got a degree or not.
Yeah.
And then if you want to do it still, like it doesn't matter, but you just want a degree, which is what I did,
like you, then
like
go for it.
go for it. But if you really want to get into that industry like right then, and you're not bothered about having a degree, then it's not worth the money.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And that's that.
You can ask us more questions. We can tell you in the comments if you're worried about moving or whatever. I can't remember what I felt like at the time.
I remember leaving, getting all my stuff packed up, and I was leaving my mum's house near Oxford, and I wasn't even going to Scotland yet. I was going from my mum's to my dad's, but I cried the whole way because I had to leave my mum and my sister, and it was awful. And then leaving my dad's was less sad because even though I do love my dad, I was used, because I'd already moved away from him.
You were used to not being.
I was used to not seeing him all the time. And then everyone had given me loads of stuff, like kitchen stuff, and my car was all packed up, so that was when I got really excited. But then it was such a long drive. I think it was good though, because I had a chance to kind of
I
clear things
remember.
out in my head.
I spent my halls, like there was the option to move in like this week or the next week.
Yeah.
And the 3 other people in my flat had opted for the next week, so I spent a whole week on my own.
Aww.
Like I got to Manchester, and that I was on my own for a week. Like I didn't know anyone. I didn't speak to anyone.
That's sad. See, I was quite late, so there was already like quite a few people moved in. And I went on that, you know, there's that like website thing that you can join. Can't remember what it's called, but you can talk to people who are already moving into your halls and
Doesn't
that.
sound like my kind of thing.
No, but I spoke to Sophie, who's like one of my bestest friends now, so it was nice to kind of, like she came out, I remember she came out of like a room and I was like, oh yeah, I spoke to you on that thing, and it was like, yay. And then we all just got
Aw.
really drunk and bonded.
Yeah, I wasn't into that. I was a really, well I still am, like a really antisocial person, so that week on my own was my
Good.
dream. It was
That's
like living
good, yeah.
alone. It was nice. And then people moved in and I didn't have as much space in the fridge for my pasta.
Oh, I know. Like, we had a block of, like, it was about 10 rooms, and we had one tiny fridge to fit 10 people's stuff in.
I just stopped buying food for the fridge.
Well, ours, we never had any food, so it was just like, which one's your shelf? The one with the wine on. That was it. We had a cupboard, so that wasn't too bad. But it's not good, the facilities.
I think we should maybe do a separate video about living with others, because I've just thought of a whole lot of things.
Yeah, because it's hard.
Yeah. But that would
And
be
don't go out and get drunk and bring people back who will eat your flatmate's food, because that's never a good thing.
that can be for the next video. All the what's the like the potholes you can fall into
Yeah.
of living with someone else.
But yes, if you have any questions about going to uni, we have both been to uni, so we can answer them. And if you've got any questions about dropping out, I also have experience of that.
I have the experience of dropping out also, but only of sixth form.
Well, yeah, I was there.
We like oh, yes.
Me too.
We like a good dropout.
Yay.
We will be back next week with some more Real Talk Wednesday.
If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, leave a comment and
Yes.
we will discuss them, kind of.
Otherwise, you're just leaving us to go on tangents,
Or we're going
which we
to
like.
talk more about pheasants and phoenixes
And stuff like that. Okay. Bye.